Welcome back to another episode of Binge and Build, where I create characters in The Sims 4 while reviewing TV shows and movies. You either are going to love the TV shows I review or think, what the heck did I just watch? And not in a good way. Today we are going to dive into the 2023 My Demon. It is a Netflix exclusive series, I believe. The drama does blend some supernatural elements. It does have some powers in it. It does have lots of romantic tension in it. And it also has a decent amount of emotional chaos into one really good story. I wish I watched it at the beginning when it came out in 2023. I think it came out at the end of 2023. So I create two characters from this series. These are the main characters. We have Do-hee and Gu-won. Please forgive me if I pronounce their names wrong. I'm not good at this. So we're going to unpack everything that worked, what didn't work in this series, or stuff that I found a little that I didn't like, and why we get to meet a really morally flexible demon. And he was kind of really likable in this series, I thought, that I've seen in a while. And complicated, and in a good way. So let's go ahead and start with the main character, or the main female lead. In K-dramas, there's female leads. There's sometimes second female lead, second male lead. So this is the main lead. We're going to start with Do-hee. She is not your typical K-drama female. She really is not what I've seen particularly. She's very sharp. She's emotionally guarded, and she is a very strong, powerful woman. She's a CEO of her company. She is quite lonely. She has a sad background, which many of them do. It's a lot of the stories. But she doesn't take stuff from anyone. She's very tough. In this series, she does lose her parents through an accident. And you kind of find out, her dad made a deal with Gu-won, which is the male lead in this series, to save his wife after an accident when she was in the belly. So you kind of find that out. So she has a lot of great character development in this series. But she is sad, and I think she really she doesn't know who to trust. And I do like that. I do like her a lot. I will talk more about the series, but I just wanted to give a little bit of a background to her. And then let's talk about the male lead, and we'll kind of wrap up, and I'll tell you my favorite scenes in this story. Our male lead is Gu-won. He is a literal demon. He is I guess the only one as to the series. He starts the series very zero empathy. He doesn't care. He was a human. You do find out he was a human, and he doesn't remember that life. It's been 200 years, I believe. But you end up rooting for him. He's very smug. He's confident, and he does spend half the show in some really iconic looks. So he is so good, but he is not a morally perfect character, which I think that's why I like him, because he is who he is. He's been doing this for centuries, 2 centuries, right? So he does make deals with people. He looks for, and he doesn't care if they're bad people or good people. At the start of the series, he looks for people who are needing of something. There's one it was really sad. I just want to mention this one where he made a deal with his mother to save a dying girl of cancer, and it was kind of sad. But and the female lead did not like that, but the mom is like, I will literally go anywhere to save my daughter. So it kind of changed her a little bit perspective on things. So yes, these are the two leads. There's a lot woven into them. I'm not going to be able to talk about everything, but I will talk about the highlights. So let's talk about the show itself. I always talk about the show and stuff, the good. The chemistry good. I swear, I think the actress that plays Do-hee is almost good with every one I've seen her in. I've seen her in several other K dramas. So good with all of them. And Guwon, I think he's also the same way. I've seen him in a couple. He's more in like darker ones, and I don't typically watch a lot of those, but so good. Like their first kiss in the that first kiss they get in the garden of the chairwoman, like the adopted mother of the lead. So yes, so good. And it is a slower build up, which I like because you kind of get to see them start to like each other. They are attracted to each other, and you find out kind of there's a reason why they're attracted to each other. So I have to tell you, back K dramas they were doing tons back in like 2023, 2024, tons of like reincarnations, past selves, time, like something with time, and going back. So this one's no exception. No exception. Sorry, I said that wrong. You do find out that they were together in their past lives. And this show does have a little bit of religion, and it does talk about like being Catholic and the Catholic faith a little bit. So I just want to make that clear. So you do find out in their past, and I think this is important, and this is probably one of the saddest scenes I've seen in the series. The series is not like the typical love story. There is some violence in the series. There is some sad stuff in this series. Like you find out the main villain is not a very good guy to his wife and son. You catch my drift. Very sad. So I just wanted to mention that. That's also in there. But in their past self, they do meet, and you find out, she is like she's poor, and she like is like an entertainer for like the nobles, because this takes place centuries, like over 200 years ago, right, in the past. And they, he falls in love with her, and she falls in love with him, and they start, because he can't be with her because he's a noble, right? So they start practicing the Catholic faith, and the government's like, no, that's not going to happen. So she's the one that gets to blame, and they end up, knowing her, and he comes back from, trying to pass a test or something, and he sees her get, so he goes crazy and decides to hurt everyone, if you catch my drift. And then he hurts himself, and then that's how, because he's like, I'm not going to heaven, and he ends up dying. And then he makes a deal with God. You do meet God in this one. It is a woman. She dresses really poor, like almost, she's homeless, and then she has a hat that does, and you won't notice it at first unless you're really watching, but it says, it's supposed to say good, but it says God on it, and that's kind of your hint. So yes, they did make that past life, but that's not what it was all about, because he does own a studio, I guess, where it does like old, like traditional dances, and his his past self's love did that dance. So she is probably, so I have to say, this drama does look expensive. The clothes are amazing in this show, like so good. Like it makes me happy to see the clothes are so well put together. He looks good. She looks good. She's probably one of my favorite dress female lead in K-drama I've seen in a long time. So yes, I do think that she's really strong. But she's not mean at first. She's cautious, and you do understand why she's so cautious. She's lost a lot. I'm going to talk about her parents do pass away in a car accident. I'm going to talk about who adopts her and some of her like adopted family a little bit. So let's talk about the chairwoman. She's a hard woman. She's a tough woman. She's not very kind to her kids. She loves her, but it finds out that the chairwoman and the lead's dad started the company together. They own a big company. It's worth a lot of money. It's typical in these kind of K-dramas, that storyline. And she's not very good. She called herself the devil. She's a terrible person. And then her dad's going to expose her, and she chases after him. They get in a car accident. Well, that same time the contract comes up, he takes he's like, no, it's your time. And then he smiles. He does this creepy smile, and it scares a chairwoman. And she goes to a priest, and she's like, from that day on, I've seen the devil, and I'm not going to be like that. But it was too late for her other kids, because she had already been like that for years. So she does take her in, because I think a little bit of guilt. And, her father did help start the company with her. She does love the female lead in this. She really does. Just the stuff she does, she does get axed by her son, which he is just a terrible person. Like, the way he treats his wife and his son, like, he makes his son like try to hurt the female lead, and he ends up hurting himself because he couldn't get under his dad's control, and his mom just let this happen. And at the end, you kind of learn about the chairman's son's wife is going to start a foundation for kids that have been hurt by their parents. And I do like that ending for her. She also has a daughter who has 2 twins, and she's kind of goofy. She's kind of the comedic timing of it. Do love that. The comedic timing is great. She's kind of silly. I mean, you don't kind of take her seriously. But let's talk about let's talk about the son of the chairman. He's probably one of my least favorite characters of the series, because he's over the top, and he almost, his motivation is greed. Because she does, like, they do axe the chairwoman, and the female lead can run the company if she gets married, and the family's all mad and doesn't want that to happen. So basically, he's trying to get her because he wants to run the company. He's not very good. He hurts, people. He's a little over the top. Like, he burns his face because he gets caught for his evil deeds of trying to hurt her. And so he's over the top. Like, the male in this literally he can't axe anyone, or he fades in the darkness forever. So he basically puts a big, huge, like, concrete stone on him, and he's still not axed, and like, he burns his face, like, over the top. I'm like, this guy, for greed, and for what purpose? You already got caught. So that was but yes, I do think he was a little silly. His motivations were funny. His motivations were not funny. His motivations were like typical of like greed and just being a terrible devil. And they do try to bring some sympathy towards him, where he's like, she calls him, I can't believe his mom says, I can't believe you're like who you are. And he's like, you made me that way. And it's like, yeah, because before they didn't get the sweet mom like the female lead did. So I like that aspect. Other 2 characters in here are, you do have the male leads, like butler, he calls him, and then you have the female leads, like assistant is what I'm going to call her. They do fall in love. I love it. It's so cute. They're comedic too. And they get, like, the female lead and her assistant get drunk, and it's like awkward, and they start dating. And then you do have in the series, in the foundation that he runs, there is a dancer who's in love with him, and her story is sad. He came to collect from her father, and he was very, he hurt her, so he decided to raise her. And I thought that was a good moment. And then it kind of goes around where she becomes a little girl's angel, and I liked how she could help, because she was going to go off and dance somewhere else. She wanted to leave Korea because she realized, the two mains really love each other, and there's no way she was ever going to get between them. And so I do like that part. She gets to be a savior. And then you do have an adoptive cousin to the female lead that's in love with her. They're not blood related, but they're just friends. Like she says, you're my family, I care about you. That's the only family that's ever really, besides a chairwoman, that actually really cared about her and tried to protect her. So I did like that friendship. What else can I say about this series? Like, I'm rambling on. But I do still think that I still really think the show is a really good show. And I really liked it a lot. I might watch it again. So let's see what else I missed, because there's a lot of information I want to tell you, and I kind of forgot what I was saying. But yes, this show does kind of wrap up in a really good way. I forgot, they do get married. It was a convenience marriage, which is one of my favorite K-drama tropes. It's when they get married, but it doesn't last long. They end up falling in love. That's one of my favorite tropes. I love it. I will look out series for that. So let's talk about my final thoughts of the series before I wrap it up. My Demon really surprised me. It's very stylish show without being shallow. She's not like the typical poor female that allows people to hurt her, unless there's people after her, but she's not like allowing this. Like, she's trying to stop it. In its core, it's really a story about two young people, one human, one supernatural, learning to trust, forgive, and maybe save each other in ways. And I do believe they saved each other in ways. They almost had something they both needed. Would I recommend this? Yes, absolutely recommend it, especially if you enjoy a dark romance. I was looking for a dark romance kind of after watching K-pop Demon Hunter. I just wanted to watch something like that, and I seen that it's very similar, so I was like, let's finish watching it. I'd started it. It's funny. I do think there's moments where it's funny. The one thing I do want to talk about, the reason why it is compared to other new shows, is because she does end up protecting him and gets hurt and gets axed, and he does sacrifice himself, and he does sacrifice himself, and he does evaporate right before Christmas, because they were supposed to celebrate Christmas together. And then she says, I'll make a deal, I want him back. And he does come back. He does come back as my demon. He comes back as a demon, and he's like, you need to take care of yourself because he's immortal. I forgot to tell you that. So she will eventually get old and go. So yes, definitely recommend. I would give this a 4 out of 5. It's probably, it's not my favorite I've seen, but it's really good. So let me know if you guys seen it. Let me know what you guys think about it. And do you think he is a really good guy for her? And don't forget to like and subscribe for more Binge and Build. And let me know down below if you have any suggestions for the next episode of Binge and Build. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.